future sustained the lifeblood of a nation under siege. We remember the children, the thousands who were evacuated from cities under threat of bombing, separated from their parents and all that was familiar. They faced the unknown with a bravery well beyond their years, carrying with them a spirit of hope and endurance that helped to sustain an entire country. Above all today, we honour an entire generation, a generation that showed extraordinary tenacity in the face of unimaginable hardship, a generation that did not give up, that held on to hope even through the darkest of nights, and whose sacrifices continue to shape the freedoms we enjoy today. 80 years later, their voices still call out to us. A call to remember, a call to cherish peace, and a call to uphold the values for which they fought so bravely. So, let us not merely look back today, but also look forward, carrying their legacy with us. We owe it to them, and we owe it to the generations yet to come. In their memory and in their honour, let us strive to build a future worthy of their courage and the enduring values for which they fought. A future defined not by conflict, but by understanding, liberty, compassion, mutual respect among all people, and enduring peace. Now I'm going to hand over to the Landlarks, who will be singing some of the...
Pack up your troubles in your old kit bag and smile, 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 while you Lucifer to light your fire. Smile, boys, that's the style. What's the use of worrying? It never was worthwhile. So pack up your troubles in your old kit bag and smile, smile, smile. It's a long way to Tipperary. It's a long way to go. It's a long way to Tipperary, to the sweetest girl I know. Goodbye, Piccadilly. Farewell, Leicester Square. It's a long, long way to Tipperary, but my heart's right there. It's a long way to Tipperary. It's a long way to go. It's a long way to Tipperary, to the sweetest girl I know. What's the use of worrying? It never Leicester Square. So it's a long, long way to Tipperary, but my heart's right there. It's a long way to Tipperary, it's a long way to go. It's a long way to Tipperary, to the sweetest girl I know. What's the use of worrying? It never Leicester Square. So it's a long, long way to Tipperary, but my heart. When you turned and smiled at me, a nightingale sang in Berkeley Square. And though I'm far away, I still can hear them say, "Comes on." For when the dawn comes on, there'll be bluebirds over the white cliffs of Dover. Tomorrow, just you wait and see.
It's the dedication of the Town Hall and the councillors and everybody involved in the Town Hall that today has happened and it's supported. But also thank you to everybody that came along this morning for the proclamation and to the butties afterwards, and everybody that's come here tonight to pay their respects to our fallen. to those that are still here and still can reminisce and tell us about their journeys and their times during the Second World War, because they won't be with us very much longer, but their stories will live on, and they'll live on in all of us and everything that we've shown. The tributes across our own county today have been astonishing, and I've had the privilege to go to several of those today in my capacity as my day job with the Ministry of Defence. So thank you everybody for your contribution and your time this evening as well, to pay our final respects at 9:30. So 9:30 the beacon will be lit, and then I'll read the tribute, and then our mayor will be able to speak to you to close the proceedings down. But thank you. Is there anybody here that would like to share any stories from their family? Because we've got 15 minutes to fill this time, so it's a perfect opportunity if you've got any memories or any stories that you would like to share with us all here about. Please. Would you like this?
Okay, yeah. Hello. This is about my granddad. He was called Captain Tom Woods, and he was captain of one of the Isle of Man steam packet company's ships. And at the start of the war, he was 65, just about ready to retire. And he was called with the fleet. He was Commodore then of the fleet for the Isle of Man steam packet company. And he went to Dunkirk, and he rescued 25,000. So a lot of his colleagues, several of the Isle of Man ships were sunk. He met the King, he met Winston Churchill. He heard Winston Churchill say, as the men came off those little boats, those poor boys. During this time, he was still thinking of my granny back home in Douglas on the Isle of Man. And one of his letters, we've got his letters, well actually in the Isle of Man Museum now. He said, "My dear Flossie, you must be so tired after your spring cleaning." And that's the sort of man he was, probably one of millions who were just ordinary men caught up in the war. And I'm so proud of him.
And so you should be. Thank you for sharing. Do we have anybody else who would like to share? Please come forward.
It's hard to know what to say. It's about my granddad. I didn't really know him. He died when I was very, very young. And I asked my dad, who was also Navy, about what Pop did, and he said he never really talked about it. But I was sorting through some of the old medals, and I found this interesting one, and it's quite a good one. And I didn't know what it was about, so I looked it up, and it's turned out that he was in charge of gunnery, and there was a situation where a bomb had come loose on a rack or something landed on the ship, and he, without really thinking of himself, he went and picked it up. And it sounds incredible, but he kind of got it over the ship, and it was just quite selfless and brave. And to know him, he was the most gentle man, apparently from all accounts, and yet he did this incredible act of sort of bravery and never really took credit for it.
And I think everybody will agree with me. A lot of our men that went to the front line, that were there, never spoke about what happened when they came home, did they? It was that untold story, and we're only a lot of the time beginning to pick up a lot of those stories now, as they're recanting them to their grandchildren or their great-grandchildren before they pass on. And it's really prominent and pertinent that if you have any of those stories, if you can get them and document them, so that we've got that for future generations, so that they know what they gave so that we could have our freedoms today. Thank you very much.
My grandparents lived in Askham, and my granddad was off fighting in the war. My nana was back home, and she used to take in all the waifs and strays in the village, and it was a massive family as well, so all the kids used to come around to the house. I hope I'm allowed to tell this story. And the family trade was at butchers, and during the times of rationing, meat and things were scarce, but obviously being a butcher's wife, she had a stock of meat. And when I think maybe the troops came round checking to see what people had at home, my nana would gather all the children, get them all into the bed together, put all the shanks of meat and stuff them all in between the children, took them all into bed, and when the troops would come round, she'd be like, "Oh, you can't go in there, all the children are asleep." So they never found all the meat that my nana would then obviously share with neighbours and anybody that was in need that needed it. She was a really kind woman, took lots of people in, refugees that came here, a family that came over from Germany, took them in, and I just think it demonstrates that even though her husband was fighting, she was still here, like a lot of people were.
Yeah, she was. That was amazing, amazing story.
And I'd just like to say that my father was a brewer by profession, and he volunteered, but he was too old to get a commission, so he had to fight as another rank, so he knows what it was like. And he was in the 1st Royal Tank Regiment and fought in every battle from right the way through North Africa to the landings in Italy, and then eventually he came back to Britain and retrained and landed at D-Day +3 and was in one of the first tanks into Berlin, and remembered shelling the German headquarters in Berlin, and the survival of that as an ordinary person. His brother was a wing commander, and he had 3 DSOs, 3 DSCs, and he, I think he was one of the most heavily decorated officers in the Royal Air Force. And unfortunately, there was a 200 bomber raid over Cologne, and he was shot down, and nothing was ever found of him or his crew. But he did the job. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that.
So, the tribute this evening. Let us remember those who gave their lives at home and abroad, whose sacrifice enables us to all enjoy the peace we have today. Let us remember those who came home, wounded physically and mentally, and the friends and family who cared for them. Let us remember those who returned to restore their relationships and rebuild their working and family life after years of conflict and turmoil. Let us remember the families that lost husbands, wives, sons, daughters and sweethearts. Let us remember servicemen and women of other nationalities and faiths from the Commonwealth and allied countries who fought, suffered and died during 6 years of war. Let us remember those in reserved occupations and the brave people who kept us safe on the home front, the doctors, nurses who cared for the wounded, the men and women who toiled in the fields, the fishermen who fished the seas, those who worked in the factories, the air raid wardens, the police officers, firemen, ambulance drivers, and the young people of the Scouts and Guides who played such a vital role in the war effort at home too. God save the King.
God save the King.